Hi, my name is Sylvie. I help women feel great and lose weight through fasting and whole food nutrition. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to reset your metabolism. Everyone loves to be able to eat whenever they want, whatever they want, and not gain weight. And that is why the topic of how to reset your metabolism is so important. And so what I'm going to do is explain to you how your metabolism works and what you can do to increase your metabolism as well. In the most basic sense, the word metabolism is used to refer to your resting metabolic rate. And your resting metabolic rate simply means the energy that your body needs to accomplish its basic functions while you are at rest. For example, circulating blood, breathing, your cognitive functions, so all that stuff. But there's other ways that obviously your body will use energy, and for example, just your daily activities. So we all have a different level of activities, and that will impact how much energy you need, and whether you exercise or not as well, and the type of foods you eat, because not all foods require the same amount of energy to be processed by your body. Your metabolic rate is largely genetic, but it's not completely outside of your control. So there are a few things you can do to increase your metabolic rate. Number one, there's fasting. As you know, I'm a big fan of fasting. And after struggling for years to lose any weight, fasting is what has allowed me to finally reach my weight goal. If you're new to fasting, I recommend you start with a modified fast. That is so great to reset your metabolism and help get rid of that belly fat. And then you can also start practicing intermittent fasting. That's what I'm practicing right now, and that is an amazing way to reset your metabolism as well. To help you decide which intermittent fasting method you can start with, I have a video for that and I will link it here. Another very important thing you can do to help reset your metabolism is make sure you get a good night's sleep. Getting good sleep is really important to ensure that your metabolism functions optimally. And then you can drink cold water. Drinking cold water can actually increase your metabolism because your body needs to use up some energy to warm up the water as it enters your body. And so half a liter of cold water can increase your metabolism by as much as 15 to 30% for about an hour. Next, you can exercise. Exercising will increase your metabolism while you are exercising, but afterwards as well. But the effect is more than just getting your heart pumping. It's also the fact that when you build muscle mass, you are helping increase your metabolism because muscle mass uses more energy than fat. Also, avoid processed food. Did you know that your body will absorb more energy or calories from processed foods than just whole foods? Whether it's carbs or fat, it doesn't matter. Your body will gain more calories from these processed food. Also, try reducing the amount of carbs that you consume. Your body needs more energy to process protein than carb. You do need more energy to process carbs than fats, but keep in mind that healthy fats will help keep you satiated, and you will end up eating less in the long run if you focus on healthy fats rather than carbs. Use a tool like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer to help you keep track at first. Some people also recommend drinking coffee and green tea to increase your metabolism, and I love drinking my tea and my coffee. I just was a bit reluctant to add that in the list because caffeine is not so good for some of you. So maybe that's something you will consider and enjoy, but keep in mind that too much caffeine may harm you. Also, I don't think we can talk about your metabolism without touching on the topic of starvation mode. A lot of people talk about avoiding starvation mode because when you restrict the number of calories that you eat each and every single meal, your body gets used to it and you will find that you need fewer calories, and that is normal, it's just natural. But it can be a problem because it can make it even harder to lose weight if that's your goal. Not only your body will need less calories as you become slimmer and slimmer, you have less body mass to carry around, but also a reduction of 5 to 10% in calories each day may actually cause your metabolism to decrease by as much as 25%. So that is definitely something that you need to be aware of. That is why intermittent fasting is so great, because with intermittent fasting, this reduction in metabolic rate doesn't seem to happen the same way. Some studies actually show that intermittent fasting can increase your metabolism instead. So intermittent fasting is definitely a great way to avoid starvation mode. And also, again, making sure you exercise and build more muscle mass is another great tip. And lastly, just make sure that you don't eat too few calories. Even if you're intermittent fasting, as opposed to counting calories, it may be a good idea to make sure that you are eating enough calories, enough to sustain your resting metabolic rate. And you can use an online calculator to find that out. Another point I want to touch on is your set point. Your set point is the weight that your body seems to want to revert back to, no matter what you do. So many women notice that if they try to lose weight, not only it's very, very difficult, like their body wants to stay at that weight, but when they do manage losing a few pounds, with hard work, lots of effort, and feeling hungry a lot of the time, they notice that as soon as they start eating a tiny bit more, they gain all these pounds back and they go back to that weight. So that is often referred to as your set point, or the weight your body wants to be at. And to change your set point, the best approach is, again, fasting. I've had that struggle, I've had a set point, and the only thing I was able to ever do to change that is intermittent fasting and longer modified fasting. I love to do a 5-day modified fast, or even I have another 10-day modified fast that you can look into. And to help you decide how to get started with fasting to change your set point, I'll put a link in the description and you can take a quiz and that'll help you decide maybe what is the best approach for you at first. And before I leave you today, I just want to mention quickly that it's not necessarily a bad thing to slow down your metabolism. It's not something you need to be scared of. And that's why, obviously, I've given you a few ideas to help reset your metabolism. Nobody wants a broken metabolism, and when your hormonal function is optimal, the rest of your health will be optimal. You'll feel a lot better. But as far as just slowing down your metabolism and still having your hormones function normally, that is not necessarily a bad thing. A slower metabolism has been associated with a slower rate of aging, and it's been shown that people who have a slower metabolism also age better. There's many benefits associated with continuous calorie restriction, many benefits associated with a slower metabolism. So if you change your mindset a little bit and stop looking at it as if you have to be so careful, you can't eat what you want when you want, and you just look at food and you're gaining weight. And if instead of looking at it that way, you look at it in a way where you realize that you can save on groceries, you can save time in the kitchen, and just really learn to enjoy the foods that you actually get to eat. When you eat less often, you can really sit down and start enjoying these foods, as opposed to having 3 square meals a day on 600 calories each, for example, plus snacks. You can just, when you limit how much food you get to eat, you actually start enjoying these foods more. And so there's some benefits, and I want you to be aware of that. It's not just having a slow metabolism isn't a disease or a curse, and it can actually help you in the long run. You could end up just looking younger longer, and that's also something we all want, isn't it? So I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you have questions about your metabolism, if you feel that maybe you do need to change your mindset about your metabolism. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.